one thing that we did talk about was inventory and logistics optimization, right? So where is the demand going to come from? Forecast that, and therefore you know where to ship stuff before the order actually arrives. That is one kind of prediction. The other kinds of predictions you could make uh, could be to do with, let's say, quality assurance, which could reduce the amount of time it takes for you to QA any product of yours, whether it is to go on the e-commerce platforms that you have, or whether it is to, let's say, QA something that you put up in a store physically. A lot of research has gone into that, into classification systems, let's say, which can classify whether something is ready for product, ready for marketing use or not, right? And that can be programmed based on the kind of things that you would look for when you were doing QA manually, and you can optimize or automate a lot of that into these processes that are then automated. Reduces your turnaround time from production to sales, and therefore helps your top line. And I believe it also has cost implications, so helps your bottom line as well. Beyond that, I think there's other examples. So let's say an industry like the motorsport industry, if you take that example, you run simulations of laps. So Formula One, for example, would run millions of simulations of the cars based on their current performance data, running laps around the circuits that they're going to race at, and then optimize the strategy that they would use inside the race to avail the minimum time spent in achieving, let's say, 70 laps around the racetrack. So what kind of tires to use when to come for the pit stop, so that your rivals who you are fighting in the race are at the most vulnerable point, or let's say when do your strategies have the most opportunity to pass your rival on the racetrack, things like that. Of course, now everybody's doing it, so you have to fight. Essentially, these are AI systems fighting against each other. So everybody's running these billions and millions of simulations and trying to optimize the strategy. But yeah, that's the interesting bit. So if you follow motor racing, you know exactly what I'm talking about. This is a very relevant thing for the F1 season just ended, so I'm still in that kick.
Yeah, agreed. So I remember one such conversation I had with Arun. He is a CEO for another company which deals into AR and VR. He mentioned one such training system which used computer vision along with other technologies to ensure that the workers in a factory, they could train right in the factory shop itself when they are trying to do something. The computer vision would tell them right up front if they make any mistake. If they try to fit any part in a different way, it would identify and sound an alarm and a trigger. So instead of spending all those hours training them in a classroom or using all other mediums and then pushing them in the factory floor, this could happen right on the factory floor itself, and a real-time learning system, which is much more impactful than any notebook or video could tell you. So I mean,
Absolutely.
that was amazing.
And taking that idea further, if you just use those same models on, let's say, your CCTV footage, right? You know where non-compliance is happening on a real-time basis without people having to look at CCTV feeds. People can miss stuff, but AI models won't. So if there is a tool that is not supposed to be in a location where it's put right now, or if you have a lot of buildup of let's say waste around a certain factory machinery which shouldn't be there, it will get flagged immediately and get escalated accordingly, and it can be dealt with without any need for people looking over each other's shoulders, people looking at video feeds and things like that.